Well, it's been about 3 years since I did my last equipment tour video back in 2023. So I was watching it the other day and I figured it'd be cool to do a 2026 tour, especially since I have way more equipment now. We'll start off with the truck. This is a 1996 GMC Sierra 1500. Has this 239,000 miles on it. I've owned it for 4 years at this point, and my dad owned it before me for 3, so had this truck for a while. I bet I've put 30 or 40,000 miles on it, somewhere in there. I'm not 100% sure how many it had when we got it, but I've been using this thing as my daily forever. This was my first truck, so, and yes, I know it's a bunch of different colors. How I ended up with it is someone wrecked it and hit a fence post with it, so the entire front end got redone. And the truck actually isn't even this color. It's originally this blue back here on the tailgate, but it got this paint job shortly before it got wrecked. Next up is a new purchase from this spring. It's a Bluebird PR22 power rake. I have no clue what year it is. I bought it used. My only complaint with this thing is the bagger. I bought it specifically for the bagger. I have since realized that it is completely useless. I usually run without the bagger on it, and then I bag with one of my mowers. So this is my 2013 Exmark. It's either an S series or an X series. I can't remember. I'm not huge into the Exmarks, but I bought this back in May. Came with that bagger, the accelerator bagger. I have a Packham and the accelerator, and personally I don't see a ton of difference, but this one's twice the price, so I like the Packham a little bit better. And then this is my 2009 Toro Grandstand. As of today, I am recording on a Saturday, and I picked this up on Monday, so I haven't even had it for a week. And I bought it for dirt cheap. It needs a little bit of work. It needs an engine tune-up, new tires, just a few odds and ends. It doesn't have reverse, so I've just got to do a few things to pull it together, and it'll be a perfectly good mower. This Exmark has 1,963 hours on it, and then this Grandstand has 2,376. So higher hours on that one, but I also paid significantly less for that one than I did for the other two. And then I have a Honda HRX 217. This is a bulletproof mower. I've loved this thing as long as I've had it. I've had it for a few years now. I got it from a customer, and I've never had any issues with it. It's like all Hondas, they're bulletproof. This is my 4x8 utility trailer. I have no clue how old this thing is. It was probably built in the 50s or 60s by my grandpa. But this thing's driven from Utah to Pennsylvania countless times. It's probably gone more miles than I've ever gone, because this has also been up in Alaska before. But I just use it for hauling grass, because my dump doesn't charge for the weight. It charges for just for the load. So I can do a fully loaded trailer and a fully loaded truck for $10. So that's usually what I do, is I just sit and stockpile until that trailer's full, rather than going every single week for the dump. And then this is my original baby. I still love this thing. I've had this thing for 4 years now, which is crazy that I bought it that long ago. This is my 2011 Toro Grandstand. Like I said, I've had it for 4 years. I bought that bagger brand new. Haven't had any issues with it, and I've loved this. This is the reason why I have the Exmark and the other Toro Grandstand. So, a bulletproof platform. I've loved them. I will say though, this machine has about 2,100 hours on it, and the only things I've really had to replace is I had to replace one of the hydraulic drive motors, and then that was in November, and then last month I had to replace this other one as well. And once you know what you're doing, it's not a huge deal, but it is a pain in the butt to try and source stuff. So this is my trailer. I do not directly own it. I actually have a deal with one of my former lawn care customers that he doesn't use it in the spring, but he does snow removal, so, and I don't. So I get to use it during the spring for free, spring and summer and fall, all for free. And I maintain it, put whatever stuff I want on it, and then he gets it in the winter. But it's a 8 by 12. I've used it for years at this point, as long as I've had that mower. And then I've also got just I think this is a 96 yard green waste can. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just from our local city. It's what I use to fill up rather than filling up my truck bed, because it's a lot easier to move that into the dumpster trailer than it is to move an entire bin out of or move an entire tarp out of the truck. But I've got my 2-gallon weed sprayer, 2 5-gallon gas cans, and then I've got this little 1 gallon right here that I put all my mixed fuel in for my trimmers and stuff. And then one thing I like is this trailer's got a bar that you can put your trimmer line on. I had a spool up on top of this rack, but the prong that it was sitting on actually broke off while I was driving, so I've just been doing this. And this is fairly new. I just put a 5-gallon water cooler on here with the rack. That way I can not have to buy water bottles all the time. I can keep an ice water with me and then have it run throughout the entire day. But this is just some of my trimmers. I have this one I just bought brand new, and I know it's residential. I wasn't planning on using it, but I bought it for my grandpa, and then turns out he had already bought one, so I just kept it. And then this is an FS55R. I've actually got 2 of them. There's another one back behind here. This one actually runs, the other one does not. And then this is my FS38. It's a little curved shaft trimmer. I bought this for $140 or something like that, like 8 years ago, and I haven't even tried to run it. It's more just there for moral support, I guess. But yeah, I don't use it. It's just kind of sitting there. And then you got this other FS55R that this one doesn't run. It needs some carburetor stuff. I just haven't messed with it, and where I have 2 other trimmers, and it's not a huge concern. But so this is a Husqvarna 223L. It also needs some work. That one doesn't run either, but I'm still trying to source parts when I remember to. This is my McLean, I guess it's a wheel edger, but it's so that you can edge those sidewalks and stuff. It's got that metal blade right there, and it's okay. I've got 2 of them, but I don't know where the other one is. But not crazy about it, but also I've never run the style that looks like the trimmer shaft, so I don't know. I'm not sure what the difference is. If you have both, leave me a comment, and I'm curious to see what you guys think about all this stuff. Then finally we got this SH86C. It's technically a leaf vacuum. You can take that nozzle off, and there's a big nozzle that comes out here, and you can put the bag on here and you can suck up leaves and stuff. I don't ever use it for that anymore. I used to, but it's way faster just to use mowers. So I just use it as a blower. I've had a backpack blower. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Granted, I didn't get a nice steel one or anything, but I'm just personally a fan of the handheld blowers more than the backpacks. That's my 2026 equipment tour. Comment down below any questions you have, or what you guys think. Tell me about your other mowers that you run. As you can tell, I like the Toros and Exmarks, but let me know if you run a Skag or a Hustler or something like that. I'm curious to see what other people have. But if you like more content like this, then like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.